going economical probably isn't worth it in this car. Bugger.
Absolutely devastated.
The car coughed. Something is wrong. So welcome to a very chilly morning in, again, for those of you who don't know, this is Porto, northern Portugal. And today I'm going to do the same route I did, was it a year or so? 2 years ago, actually. It's 2 years ago, October 2019. We're in November 2021. A round trip to inner Portugal. And at the time it was a sort of an economy run. And today I'm going to do the same thing, but it's not going to be an economy run because I don't have the time. Economy runs, you need the time to go as slowly as you like. And I don't have that time. Now, having said that, in recent times I've had comments of people having ludicrously low consumption figures. Now, I don't doubt people get great averages. I'm just wondering what the parameters are. I'm just wondering what the parameters are. For example, I dropped off my kids, and then as soon as I dropped them off, I reset the trip computer, and I was stuck in traffic, and I got some really horrible numbers like 13.2 litres per 100 kilometres, which is astronomically high, especially for a diesel. If I were to have reset the trip computer already underway, already on the motorway for example, or outside of town, the average for the whole day would be lower. Starting off with that 13.2 litres per 100 is a massive handicap. Now, I'm not doubting what you're saying is true, and you probably reset your trip computer as soon as you start, but maybe you live somewhere where you can just leave home and you've got open roads right outside your front door. I don't. I live in a large-ish city. One thing that's very different today, in contrast with the last time I did this trip, should I say the last time I filmed this trip, is that today is an absolutely gorgeous day. Last time I came here, again, the last time I filmed coming down here, it was the most miserable possible day to do such a thing. It rained and all I saw was mist and rain and misery. It was horrible. So I'm now 60 kilometers into the trip, which is around 40 miles, 38 I think, and my average is 5.4 litres per 100 kilometers. And what's weird was when I did this trying to be economical, I honestly don't think it was that different, which is a bit disappointing, to be very honest. Basically that means that trying to drive economically in this car isn't worth it. There's the IP4. The IP4 was the old road that used to go, well, the same route this motorway does, more or less. And it was an absolute death trap. For a while it was one of the most dangerous roads in the world. And it was made using European money back in the 80s, and it was absolute shit, excrement. There's nothing good to say about it. There was the IP4 and the IP5, both of which connected the coast to inner Portugal. They were terribly built roads that were way too narrow for lorries and cars to go along them safely. They were just a single lane, so you'd get stuck behind a lorry for miles and miles and miles on end. And what would happen was that people would begin to become very impatient and would overtake the lorries at completely stupid points in the road, you know, blind points, etc. So there were many accidents and many deaths. Thankfully, as time progressed, you know, people thought these roads are absolute crap. Let's make some proper motorways, and they did, and it was worth the investment. And for a time, one of them, the A25, and it was free. It was wonderful. I made extensive use of that motorway. Every time we could, me and my significant other would get into my car and we'd like go and grab some coffee in Spain. It was great. I loved it. Mountain ranges here are called serras, S-E-R-R-A, and that comes from the Latin word, which is serra, S-E-R-R-A. Yeah, it's the same word. It means saw, the thing you use for cutting wood. And that's because the Romans thought these mountain ranges looked like upside down saws. And they're sort of like not high enough to be mountains, but then again too high to be hills. They're sort of like a topographical feature they don't really have in the English-speaking world. Hence the unique name. The Spanish call it the Sierra. And in most cases, they're like these long ridges of peaks, and hence the name Saw. And they're all over northern Portugal. Their main topographical feature, I think, basically north of Lisbon. If I was to be very general, it's not that simple, but yeah, that's one way of summing it up. Those two black vans probably are tour vans, and they're on the way to the Douro Valley. The river Douro is a river that passes through Porto, and it comes from deep within the country, from Spain actually. Very beautiful, very, very beautiful. And they've got wine country there that's absolutely gorgeous to visit, especially in the autumn. And I do recommend you visit that place if you do have a chance. I'm off the motorway now, and right now, hopefully that's visible, 5.6 litres per 100 kilometres, which is really good. I haven't been trying to be economical, and that's sort of worrying. That means going economical probably isn't worth it in this car. Bugger. It's 11 degrees centigrade. It's very chilly today. Thing is also the car coughed. The cruise control was on and it switched itself off and then wouldn't come back on. Something is wrong. Sit rep. Just had a short stop to grab a bite to eat. This is a town called Carraseda d'Anciens. Don't bother to pronounce it. Name. This is the main street, and it seems I'm the youngest person here. Anyway, break's over. I'm heading back to the main road. Beautiful autumn colours. Oh yeah. It's just impossible to capture on camera and explain how marvellous this trip is being. Beautiful weather, beautiful landscape. What more do you want? Oh, of course, and no less important, an absolutely magnificent car to do it in. I'm a happy bunny right now. Good times. Now I'm very close to my destination now, and at this point on the previous journey I had 5.6 litres per 100. I've got 5.3, which is less, and it was 5.2 until just a couple of minutes ago. What's going on? How come when I wants to be more economical, I'm less economical. Makes no sense. And it's not like I'm a complete moron. I might be a moron, who knows? Maybe I think I'm being economical, but I'm not. But I don't think I am. Usually I get very good numbers out of cars that are in good condition. Maybe something wrong with this car, or something was wrong with the car. Maybe because it was raining, it was an absolutely terrible day with terrible weather. Could be. I think when I did the trip, I did say that the terrible weather didn't help. You get a lot of headwinds and such. Stuff you don't usually get when the weather is nice. Anyway, this is the first leg of the journey practically over. I'm nearly there, as near as it makes no difference really. Going to have my meeting, and then, but first I'm going to have a spot of lunch. I think is in order. This part has to be overdubbed because after lunch I went for a stroll and I decided to film it and show you how lovely Trancoso is, but I was a bit embarrassed to do it in public, so I whispered to the camera, and then I couldn't hear anything when I got back to my computer and listened to what I had recorded. But I digress. Trancoso is a beautiful little town, and its main claim to fame, I think the most famous part of Trancoso, is the castle. The view from the castle is absolutely breathtaking, as you can see here. The castle was erected between the 10th and the 13th centuries, and not just the castle, but the whole town was fortified because it was so close to Spain. Spain would invade Portugal like every century or so to try to reconquer the country. And this went on for about 700 years until the forces of Napoleon came along and basically devastated both countries, and they've never recovered since. As I previously mentioned, the entire town would be a fortress in the Middle Ages, and these are the King's Gates on the south side of the town. Business is done and I'm on my way back. And I actually managed to get lost. I can't believe it. I've done this road 1 billion times and I still managed to take a wrong turn. Anyways, and I know why. Someone stole one of the signs. But the check engine lights come on, and it's a problem that keeps reoccurring. Not good at all. Now, this is as close as anyone like me, i.e. someone who values comfort over performance and all that rubbish, will get to hooning. And for those of you who are not of British origin, hooning is basically driving your car very fast around corners and saying how brilliant it is. Now, I'm nothing against it, by the way. You know, if you like hooning, that's fine. More power to you. I think we should all respect each other's tastes. But the thing is, I'm not very good at it, and nor is this car really tailored for it, I think. But I don't know, when you do chuck this car through corners rather, how should I say, spiritedly, if that's a word, it's just fun because it wallows all over the place. Whee! That's what it feels like. I like it. And the thing is, it doesn't really make me feel like I'm gonna get killed or something. It's fun without having to go too fast to get to that fun, if that makes sense. And off we go. Look at this beautiful road. Oh yeah, we've got to stick to beneath the speed limit though, otherwise that would not be nice. I remember this spot. This is where I got momentarily stuck behind a Spanish truck and swore at him, and then he was very nice to let me past, and I felt like a bit of a plonker. I'm stuck behind a Spanish truck. What a nice guy. He actually gave me the signal for me to overtake. I'm stuck behind a Spanish truck. Take it back. God, this road is nice. 74? It said 79 about 15 kilometers ago. Oh, bloody hell. Doesn't matter. 74 kilometres of bliss. I don't mind. No. Your lovely Shantia, leave it there. I love that Shantia. Love Shantias. Or Xantia, sorry. We say Shantias here, so sometimes I mix up the pronunciation. You will forgive me, of course. God, this is fun. Hello, fellow traveller going in the opposite direction. I think I also remember going through this town, remarking on if it was a town or a village, if I'm not mistaken. No, I am mistaken. This was not it. I have to admit, I don't like going around in the winter months. Even though it's not winter, it's autumn. But yeah, the thing is we've always got sun as if it was 10 in the morning all the damn time, and it's annoying. And it's shining in my face. Well, obviously I can't show you because the camera's facing forward. My God! That was an Austin Montego. Now, it's rare enough in England. Here on the continent, it's like seeing a unicorn. It's very, very, very rare indeed. And it looked like it was someone's everyday car. How about that? This place is called Moimenta de Beira. And I remember passing through here and remarking, I had spent a holiday or something. That was a week with my mates out here somewhere. It was an agricultural school. There it is, just past it right now. I just passed it. And the thing is, I remember recording myself. I am going through Moimenta de Beira, and I was here about 23 years ago, if memory serves me correctly. I remember very little. I don't remember anything else. Oh, hang on a sec. Bingo! Look, we were here. This is the place. This is where we stayed. Yeah, whatever. It's a very personal anecdote, but one that I enjoy very much to reminisce upon. The megalithic necropolis over there. Portugal is rife with Stone Age monuments. In fact, I went and saw one. It was about a week ago. Wonderful long weekend. Absolutely beautiful. Évora, down in the south. You might be able to see in the distance the wind turbines on the hill. Some of them have stopped. Now, the reason some of them stop isn't because there's not enough wind. The reason many times is because they're generating too much power. I'm not sure if it's the case here, but either way, I thought it would be an interesting tidbit to share with you lot. So, sitrep. I'm on the motorway, and we are entering the Douro region. The reason I came this way is because I wanted to show you just how beautiful this is in the autumn. Hopefully I'm not too late, because it is November and it's already, I would say, mid-autumn. Would that be correct? We may be too late for all the amazing colours that there are. We'll see. But yeah, this is a point in the journey where I'm going to look at my average. And it's 5.1. Now, this is oh God. This is sodding annoying, because I'm not taking care, and I've actually stamped on the throttle a couple of times, not going over the limit, mind you, but either way, I didn't take care. And I've got a lower average, a lower sodding average. Now, I don't know if this is because it was a terrible day back then and the weather was terrible, but it was nice coming back. And since then I have sorted the car somewhat, so that might have influence. But either way, either that or I'm a complete moron and I don't know how to drive properly. And that's a possibility. God, that's a bit frustrating. Those are vines. They're red and yellow and green and brown, and I think that's pretty. Oh, I just saw that said N2. That means it's the National 2. Yeah, I'm going to cross the river, the Douro River, and the National 2 is the longest road in Portugal. It's 738 kilometres, I believe. It was 750, I'm not sure. And it goes from the very north of Portugal, a place called Chaves, and it goes all the way to the south to Faro. And I think it's one of the longest continuous roads in Europe. And online people draw comparisons to it to Route 66. It's like the ultimate road trip. I don't know if that's true or not, but either way, it's supposed to be rather spectacular. It takes you through some really beautiful places. That is easy to believe. And it's something you can do over a matter of days with like your mates and do like a nice road trip. I'd like to do that actually. That sounds good. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit more. Look at that. Got some pretty spectacular views. Now I'm going to keep recording for the next few minutes because we're going to pass a point where I remarked how I was doing 5.3 litres per 100 kilometres. I've managed to get my average down to 5.3. Very good news. It was here. Let me check, see what my 5.1. I'm 0.2 of a litre under what I did when I was trying to do it economically. Oh well. And as usual, someone's parked in the middle of the road. Yeah. So I've stopped for a better view of this abandoned palace. It's been like this for years and years and years. I don't really remember this being in any other state. But this is something that's very common in Portugal. Lots of abandoned buildings. It's a real shame. Just got myself some water and I use the bathroom and we're here. This is pretty depressing, all these abandoned houses. By the way, that's the view. The sun isn't helping the contrast, but yeah. Given the conditions, it's not half as spectacular as I was hoping it would be. But honestly, in all honesty, I don't think I'm going to be able to stop any further on. So this is your lot. Sorry everyone. Let's get back into this magnificent beast and continue our journey. What a car. Bugger. I was going to say something and I forgot what it was. This is more like it. How's that for a view? Look at that, they had to cement that hillside so rocks wouldn't fall on people. Here we are getting back to Porto, going through the electronic toll booths. Booth in my case, singular. Let's see how much it was. €4.20, yeah, the same as it was in the other direction. Who'd say? Who'd have thunk? I'll move out of the way because usually these white van guys, they really like to stamp on the throttle. Oh, well. Biker, Jesus Christ Almighty, heavens above, please protect me, Lord Jesus. They're the most aggressive speedsters of all. Yeah, I'm going to start to hit traffic, which is the norm. But either way, I'm nearly home. Let me just check on my 5.4. Fantastic. If it wasn't 5, if it was less than that, I would be very surprised, because I kept the car at the limit, as is my right. Yeah, 5.4, 0.1 of a litre over what I got when I was doing it nice and slowly. So final average is 5.3 litres per 100 kilometres, which is some mpg. The insult is too much for me to bear. Now I'll be honest with you, I think I'm going to wrap this up here unless something else comes along. Moral of the story: there's no point in trying to economise in a Citroen C5X7 1.6 HDI Tourer, because it doesn't work. I don't know, maybe is it because when you're at higher speeds, the momentum sort of like is more economical? I have no idea. This is bamboozling completely to me. I have no idea why this should be. That's a mystery. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you very much. I tried to make this video, well, it wasn't 100% about the car. It was also a bit of come visit Portugal tourism board sort of thing. Hope you didn't mind that. There'll be more in the future. Anyway, enough for now. I've got to get past this lorry and into the other lanes so I can keep moving forward. Thank you very much, everyone. I bid you all farewell. Sun's in my face. Epilogue 5.3. It made no difference coming quick or slow. Bloody hell, the humiliation is unbearable. That's a Blackadder reference, by the way.